Hi guys, it's day 7 today, Wednesday. It's exactly a week since I was admitted to have my ankle and hind foot fusion. It's been an emotional week, shall we say. I'm actually laying down at the moment because I want to keep my foot elevated, as you can see. This is a standard fare, it's down there, you go. I'm staying with my mum and dad at the moment because they have a downstairs bedroom with an electric bed, which is helping me get up and down. It is very much manageable on the pain meds. I've come off the morphine now. I have some emergency sort of 20-minute working ones from the hospital, but my main medication is two 500 ml cocodamol tablets 4 times a day. Although already I've started to only have one tablet every at 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening, and then just have the two for sort of during the day at midday to get me through the afternoon, and then have two in the evening, so I should sleep okay. And that seems to be working okay. The real discomfort I have got is there's this burning sensation on my shin when I stand up. The reason I'm lying down and doing this lying down is that when it's like this and elevated, which is they tell you to do it as much as is humanly possible, and your initial reaction is, oh, okay, yeah, of course I will, as we all do. Well, trust me, you will do it, and you will have it as up in the air as much as you possibly can if you have similar discomfort to I have, which everybody seems to get, I guess. I had quite a complex operation, and I guess maybe there's some more swelling than normal. So I'm expecting mine to go down, say 7 days today. It should go down over the next. I've only been home now. This is the second day, so I'm hoping it's going to ease as we go. But at the moment, I really don't want to stand up. It is that uncomfortable, and I don't want to affect it or do it anyway. But I'm fortunate that I'm able to lie down most of the time. And then apart from that, I'm not in any discomfort at all. So just to give you the feedback on the actual pain from the injury and the operation, it's very little. I've got feeling back in my toes pretty much now. I can wiggle them around, which they sort of say is okay to do. That's pretty much, don't try and do any more than that, but just wiggle them, do circulation, lift your knee up to your chest a number of times a day. I'm doing it sort of 15 times once an hour or something, just to keep the circulation moving, because you are laying on the same bit, and also to move onto your side wherever possible and keep your elevated foot. I've got a bed wedge. I'll just swap the camera around so you can see what I mean by that. If I'm any good at using this phone, probably not. There was a camera thing coming up. I'm touching the screen and nothing's happening. So there we go. Anyway, I can't manage to see that, so I shall just turn it around so you can actually see. I have a bed wedge, the green thing, which, excuse my thing. It's a wedge that goes from nothing at the bottom down to, from nothing up to about 4.5 inches high, and then I've just got a pillow on top of that just for a little bit extra. Just to elevate it as much as is possible while I'm lying down. As I say, not the most. I'll give you. I'm going to give you a video based on the actual things that I've found to be most useful. Certainly, it would appear to at the early stages that I haven't had a shave since I've been home either. I just noticed on the camera a bit. There we go. That the knee walker is a particularly good thing. It allows you to have that balance and just the support under your knee, which does make a lot of difference. That's how I got from the car back into the. I had a porter take me in a wheelchair all the way from the Plaster Theatre or the theatre just outside the opera. My head's going mad. The ward to the car, and managed to jump into the back of my mum's car. One tip I would give you, and what did work really well, I did two ways of doing it. When the driver gets there, push the driver's seat forward as far as you can, and depending on which leg you've got, in plaster, you really want that to be your outside leg, so you can push yourself into the car. It's a much harder thing to do from the inside. And then get yourself behind, and then I put mine is my left leg, as you've seen. I put my left leg through the gap in the two seats and rested it on the centre console. Now that worked to a point, although it was a bit low. I would have liked it when I go back next week. My brother's actually going to come. He's got a Range Rover, so hopefully that'll give us a bit more flexibility with electric seats. So just moving them, if things aren't quite right, you can sort of lean across and move them. The other way of doing it was to push the passenger seat right forward, lower the seat as far down back as it will go, put your leg on it, and then, or maybe take the headrest off, put your leg on it, and then raise the headrest above your level of your heart, so your foot stays above your heart, which does keep this quite acute burning pain away. Like now, I don't have it at all. If I stood up now, I would get it. I assume it dissipates after a while, but it's that painful that at the moment I'm just quite happy to not bother and just to see whether I can just avoid doing it as opposed to anything else. I don't think I'm doing any damage. I'm told it's just the fluids in your leg going down and filling up the veins, and that makes your leg a little bit bigger, and it, things that are damaged from the operation sort of suddenly get full up of blood and various other things again, and that causes because they're inflamed, and that causes the problem. But as your symptoms subside, that should ease. I'm not in any discomfort from the plaster. I when it's up, I'm in no discomfort from it at all. So I'm pretty sure it's not an issue. Although I'm a week today will be week 2, and I'm going back to have the stitches removed and this sort of back slap removed, and the full cast put on, hopefully, if it's not too painful. But my surgeon's very good, and he's aware of the situation. Apart from that, we have a commode in here, which haven't had a go on yet, but that's there as an emergency, because getting up the stairs, I've got the frame, which is good. As I've mentioned before, I've also got an eye walker. I'm going to give it another go. I'm a big guy, as you can see, and I do find it quite difficult to get on my own. But I'm going to get somebody else, just because I stand up, going to get somebody else to help me put it on, and see if there's a way of getting upstairs. I think if you have a toilet that is upstairs, and that's your only option in your house, where obviously now a newer build house, you have to, in the UK particularly, you have to have a downstairs toilet. But in these older houses my parents have, you don't. So our option is upstairs, hence the commode for a sort of an emergency. It obviously is from a human point of view nicer to have the facilities that are required nearer to hand, and I can get from the bed upstairs to on crutches or the scooter to the loo fairly straightforward now. That's not the issue. It's just getting up and down the stairs. But I'm going to give that eye walker another go to see if I can get up the stairs on it. Next week when I come back from, I'm not going to do it before next week. I'm going to have another week here, and then do it again. And hopefully I've then got 4 weeks before the cast possibly comes off and I get a boot. But we're almost right. We're literally just a day the other side of Christmas at that point, so it may well go on a few days after. I'm sort of labouring these points because they're the most salient things that people want to know. What discomfort will I have, and how incapacitated will I be? And I guess it depends on your level of fitness, your age a little bit. I'm 57, but I'm a big guy. I'm 350 pounds, and which is 25 stone, and whilst that isn't a deal breaker, it does have an impact. Just using going to the loo, using a bottle in the night and stuff like that, keeping your foot elevated as much as possible, just keeping off it. So I've got a couple of those bottles, which my mum is very happily nursing me with every day, clearing them out for me and all that sort of gear. And those are the real facts that daytime living and real living is an issue that perhaps gets overlooked. the health professionals talk to you about the ramifications of the surgery, but the actual real living situation is something that I think all of us need to know. And there's a couple of other videos previously that have gone on here. An elderly gentleman who had the same thing as me, and he recommended the walker, a knee walker, very, very strongly, and I totally agree with him. I bought one straight away and thought, well, yeah, this is the thing. This allows me to, within the levels of comfort that I'm happy with, to move around, certainly on a one level property, fairly straightforwardly. Stairs obviously you can't do, but there's other things as well. There's other products available, like the toilet. They call it a toilet riser in the UK, which is a 4-inch thick toilet seat basically, and it sits on top of the bowl with the seat and the lid up. And it just allows you to sit a lot higher, which means that you have a lot less effort to get off. Getting off of a toilet, if you don't have anything to sort of lever yourself with, is very difficult with your foot in the air. Bearing in mind you can't put it on the floor. So it's these sort of practical things that hopefully this sort of fairly basic guide, and it is designed to be a basic guide, and as I'm doing it, I'm looking at myself thinking, oh, this looks a bit silly, but it's just the reality of it. I think it's very nice to know and be able to manage your own post-operative experience and what you expect to get from it, and how things realistically will take, how long things will take, how things are difficult, what you can do, what you can't do. And hopefully that's coming over. So I'll give it a stop now. And as I say, this is day 7. I'm in no pain from it, other than this discomfort on the front, and hopefully those will continue. And I'll update you if something happens in the next week. Obviously I will, but it'll probably be after I've had the cars changed in a week's time. Wish you all well, and we'll speak soon. Cheers.